Oh shit, that thing works. All right, you guys ready? How you guys doing? I always loved Miami in July. Great time to go out to an outdoor mall, hang out, sweat your ass off. Perfect time, right? That's Miami. I remember coming out when I was younger, and I asked for a good mall, and they just go get some AC, and they sent me to an outdoor mall to go sweat my ass off. I'm like, yeah, there's Miami. It should be a law. Like, you should only be able to build indoor malls with air conditioning. Like, no outdoor this, but a little bit more of something different right here for a few folks that are working with us here in Miami next week. Okay. Now, here's everything that we do, guys, in real estate. I want you guys to understand revolves around volatility. Okay, in the market. And right now, there's more opportunity in the open market than any other time that you guys have probably seen in your professional careers outside of 2008. And right now, I feel like there's more opportunity than 2008, and I'm going to go over a little bit of it with you guys. Now, I'm known for buying land, building apartment complexes. I'm known for buying land, building houses. I've been doing it for 28 plus years. I've been self-employed for 32 years. But we own a lot of stuff. We own restaurants, we own franchises, we own a lot of different stuff, guys. It just so happens that real estate has been our claim to fame and what we're most known for. And so today I'll share with you a business model that you guys can implement. You guys are probably saying, well, why would you share your business model? Because I get money from you guys, just truth be told. You know, when I go out and in fact, I was talking to Tony, who's been a part of our community for about 3 years. He's kicking ass. And doing incredible stuff. I think he netted $1.7 million last year. He's been working with me for about 4 years now. How many of you guys want to work with me for 4 years and be netting $1.7 million in 4 years per year? Okay. So if you guys got the fortunate opportunity to meet Tony, he was out front taking some of your guys' signatures. Tony's back there. So nonetheless, Tony, I can't see close anymore, and I can't see far anymore, bro. The doctors told me if I get LASIK again right now, I'm in reading glasses tomorrow. So I've been debating. So now I'm blind both ways. I can't see close and I can't see far. Okay? So don't worry, guys. It's all coming with age, right? But we all get there. 51 years old. Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing, guys. My biggest motivator to do this is to help you guys make income. Why? Because once you guys go in, if I can help you guys make an extra 200, 300, 400, 500, 1.7 million a year, a lot of times you guys are going to want to get into growing into a different place. Like, how many of you guys would love to get into the multifamily space and invest and build multifamily? How many of you guys would love to do that? Just by show of hands. Okay, truth be told. Okay, now, you may be in a position today, and I don't know where everybody is today, but you may be in a position today that you're sitting back going, Jerome, I just want to make some money. Any type of money. I don't care if it's building gingerbread homes. I don't care if it's selling a pet rock. I just want to make money. Okay? But at some point in time, sooner than later, especially if you're working with us, it's not making money that's hard. What's hard is keeping it. And most of it is keeping it from the IRS. Okay? So when you get into multi-unit real estate, the benefits and attributes to being able to do so is because the tax benefits in real estate are stronger in the commercial sector because the asset values are larger. Does that make sense? And so being able to go in and take advantage of the tax incentives is the real incentive behind everything that we do. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah, because if you go out, if I teach you today how to make $200,000 on a single bill, but you have to pay $80,000 of that to the IRS, how many of you guys would love to write that $80,000 check? That's $120,000. That's a lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot. Well, no, but that's not the thing. That's limited thinking, man. The biggest thing is 200,000 is more than 120, and you worked your ass off. You went in, put up the liability, and you went out and you forked out the efforts. And so, truth be told, you deserve to keep the profits and the proceeds. Make sense? Yes. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Now, usually I go into the commercial sector first, and I tell you guys we start off where we're going to end. I'm not doing that today. We've had so many people that have been working with us, and one of the biggest things is the mindset side of what we do. what we do works, guys, because it's houses. If you go out there, and I need you guys to understand the business model behind what we do, because what really makes the biggest difference and the strongest attributes to what we do isn't necessarily just building the houses. It's the business model of how we build our houses and why why they are so profitable in the sector that we build in. Because if I just told you guys, hey, let me show you how to build a house. This is the foundation, these are the walls, this is the drywall, this is the paint, these are your stem walls, this is your CMU, this is how you go out and do your shoring, and this is how you go out and put a roof on a house, and I showed you that, I would fail you. And the reason why is because most people building in the lower demographics, they don't make no money. Now, how many people have an expandable? Hito, everybody, give this man a round of applause. He was sitting in a chair just like you guys down in Nashville in one of our workshops 2 months ago. This gentleman's working with us now, and he's buying land, he's building houses, and anyways, I'll let him tell you guys a little bit later. But he's part of our inner circle partner community. Thanks for coming out here, Phil. Love you, brother. So, ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest things is I would fail you if I just let you guys go build houses in any business sector. You know why? How many of you guys want to play it safe and just protect your money? How many of you guys want to play it safe? Don't be lying to me either. Don't be lying to me. How many of you guys want to play it safe and make money? How many of you guys would rather play it safe than play it risky and make money? You guys are all full of shit. Every single one of you. How many of you guys would like to reduce your risk and still make money? Raise your hand. Okay? I already know the answer. You know why? I have over 2,000 people that are active, building members of our community, and I know what their limitations are. And they all come in, and in spite of them coming in and me telling them exactly what my business model is, and to duplicate it, they go, you know what, Jerome, I'm just going to play it safe, and I'm going to do a smaller build. And I said, back to them, don't play it safe, because by playing it safe, you're actually putting yourself at a higher risk, okay? So today, I'm going to not just teach you guys how to build houses, but I'm going to explain to you why it's super important that you guys pay attention to the business model itself that works, because it'll protect you in real estate. Does that make sense? Yes. This pulled me to the 2008 recession, guys. And in 2008, Lehman Brothers collapsed, and it was a housing crisis in 2008. We were the largest Subway franchisees in central New Mexico and southern Colorado. I owned restaurants, bars. We owned dance schools. We owned real estate companies. And there was one business that kept producing income and large revenue. You know what it was? Construction. Houses. Houses outperformed everything. And it's because of our business model, okay? And so some people are sitting back going, housing recession, biggest housing crash ever in history, but yet houses produce larger revenue returns than any other sector. And you're going to understand it today. Now, you guys ready to get into it?
Yeah.
Okay, how many of you guys own a rental property outside of your single family home that you rent and you make income off of? Raise your hand if you have a rental of any sort, commercial, residential. Okay, how many of you guys are in real estate in some sector? Sell it, or a broker? Keep your hands up if you're in real estate in some way, shape, or form. You're selling it, you're buying it, you're fix and flipping, wholesaling, whatever. Okay, so about maybe a third of you guys. It's good. How many of you guys are in construction? Raise your hand. Doesn't matter what you are. You painter, handyman, any type of construction. Raise your hand. Okay. Perfect. How many of you guys are general contractors? Build stuff from the ground up, and you guys are general contractors. Okay, so about maybe 8 of you guys. There's plenty of room up here, man. Come on up here. We have 2 seats right here, one right here at the end, and this gentleman's gonna let you sit right here. Hey, bro, can I get this young lady to sit right here by you? Thank you, my friend. Yes, sir. Come on in. This is church, man. You guys come in. I'm your usher. I'm gonna pass the plate around here in a little bit. You guys throw your extra $100 bills in there for me, okay? I don't want no spare change. Don't be doing me like that. Okay. How many of you guys have no construction experience whatsoever? Raise your hand. Never even did a remodel of your own. Okay. How many of you have no real estate experience? Never done any real estate whatsoever in your life, but would love to? Raise your hand. And don't be embarrassed. Okay. Cool. So just a few of you guys. Okay. Here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to talk about the single family game and the business model specific. I'm going to run right into it, and I'm going to start right away. Usually I don't do this. I kind of prep you guys into it. I'm going to roll straight into it today because I want you guys to understand some limited beliefs that I've been facing with our community that I want to make sure that I just lay on the table and help you guys out with right now. There's 2 chairs right up here, guys. There's one right here and one right here. Fill in these chairs up here because those are all filling into the back. You guys are welcome to come on up here and fill in some of these empty chairs right here. We have plenty of room. All right, now. There's 74%, guys, of our population. 74% of our population are median home buyers, and these are the median and lower median demographics, okay? Now, there's 2% that are the ultra wealthy. And then there's 24% of our population it is the upper middle class, okay? Now, this is important for you guys to understand, okay? Now, the reason you guys are here is one, to get you guys building houses and making profits and building multifamily and get you guys understand why and how to actually do it. But you're not going to be able to get that in an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever we sit here today and network, learn, and teach. So you guys at the end of this will have an opportunity to come and spend an entire weekend with me right here in Miami on September 27th to 28th. So you guys are lucky because we have people traveling from all over the country to coming in here, and we limited the seats to 250, and we already have 200 of them sold. So we only have 50 seats left. But at the end of this today, you guys have an opportunity to come in and join me on September 27th to 28th to be able to really understand how to underwrite this stuff in depth. Okay, it's an underwriting workshop. It's the only workshop I'll do this year because it's the only weekend I'm available because it's the only weekend that my son doesn't have a football game. He has a bye week. And 100% of everything I do revolves 100% around my kids and my family. Make sense? So either take it or leave it, okay? That's your only choice, all right? Now, you'll understand why here in a minute. Now, this right here is the sector that we focus on. The reason we don't focus here, you're going to understand here in about 30 minutes. You're going to sit back, you're going to have an epiphany and say, holy shit, okay? This right here is D.R. Horton. This right here is Pulte. This is LGI Homes. This is Toll Brother Homes. These are all the median home builders, and they're servicing the middle class, okay? There's no profit in that area for you guys. It's too high risk. If I would have built in that area in 2008, I would have went bankrupt, okay? I didn't know this in 2008, but I figured it out in 2008. I didn't go in, I wasn't smart when I was in my young 20s, building a development company. I landed up here on accident. I got lucky enough that I started building houses for the upper middle class, and it's just where I stayed. And in 2008, when the recession hit, my dad, he's been an accountant for his whole life. My dad's 78 years old. He's been an accountant his whole life, and he worked for me for 20 years, but he was a professional accountant for 32. And when he came in, he told me when we were going in from 2009 to 2010, because the 2008 recession, guys, it hit about November. They were talking about it, but it was November of 2008 that it really hit. And it really hit me. And we really felt the pain was November, December, January, February, March of 2009 were the most painful months of the recession. For those of you guys that lived through it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. About April, a little loosening took place where we weren't making a killing. We were going in and we were making like small profits again instead of making negative numbers on our books. Okay, so we started fire selling houses, or at least I thought we did. And then in January, February of 2010, post 2009, my dad said, Jerome, you have a tax bill of X amount of money. It was a shit ton of money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars that I owed to the IRS. And I said, there's no way that I owe that. We fire sold every single house. And he goes, no, you did it. You made a profit on 100% every single house that you built. And I said, Dad, there's no way. And I was sitting back, and I was sitting back panicking, like, fuck, I didn't have like $800,000 to pay for taxes. So I was sitting back because I was trying to just make shit happen during the 2008 recession. And so I go, let's go back and let's audit every single house. The house that we made the least on value was $48,000, and the second least profit that we made was $52,000. Everything else, we made close to $80,000 on every single other house that we did not. We were making about $110,000 per house. We took a little scrub on all of them, and we took a big scrub on a few of them. But guess what? Nobody was feeling sorry for me, and we were still making profits. And so I had an epiphany that January, February. I went to all my subcontractors, and I said, hey, guys, I'm going to keep us alive. We're going to keep building houses. But instead of building houses the way we build, you're gonna build them my way. You're all gonna take a price cut, every single person, and we're gonna build a higher quality home, and we're gonna sell them, but I'm gonna keep you alive. None of us are gonna make what we were making, but I'm gonna keep all of you guys alive. 90% of my subs stayed with me. About 10% of them said, Jerome, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna take a price cut on your behalf. I don't think any of them are still in business today, but 100% of the ones that did are still in business today, with the exception of Johnny, who was my electrician, who retired because he was in his late 60s in the last few years, and so he retired about 7 years ago. Okay, there's some seats up here, man. There's plenty of seats on this side. Okay, so the reason I tell you guys that story is because that's the business model that I'm presenting to you guys to understand today. Does that make sense? Okay, now, we don't focus on this. The profits are too low. I'm going to underwrite why that business model sucks for you. How many of you guys have an expendable $100,000, $200,000 in your bank account to go cut a check for a piece of land? Anybody? Okay, 3 people. Okay, you guys can come up here, give me your credit cards. Okay, and you two, come up here. No, truth be told though, guys, most people don't have it. And if you do, why would you go out and put that money up if you had another vehicle instead of tying it up? Like my wife even told me the other day, I'm about to buy a McLaren, and I go, and I'm buying this dumb shit for you guys. People like seeing this stuff. And I go, I'll just cut a check. I'll just write a check for the McLaren. She goes, why? She goes, she saw the website where it goes, the payments are like $6,000 a month. Just let the business pay for it, right? She goes, why tie up your money? But guess where she learned that from? From me. Why do you put your money out when somebody else is willing to give it to you at a price that is affordable for you to go out and take advantage of somebody else's money? Does that make sense? Yeah. How many of you guys would love for the banks to be able to buy the land for you? Raise your hand. Okay, if you play it safe and you play in this sector right here, the banks will not play with you. You know why? There's not enough profitability, and I'll explain why. Okay, now they'll do it here, but the problem with the 2% is that this is too risky. You guys have a lot of wealth over here, but you guys realize that Florida, without the travel and leisure, can't stand on its own 2 feet economically. You guys realize that? What happens when economic circumstances change and people don't move to Florida, or your travel and leisure softens? What happens to Florida? Yeah, small recession for Florida, right? Because that's your biggest economy, is the travel and leisure. Okay, so we don't focus on this, is because when there's recessions, guys, these guys are smart. They're not spending money on homes. If you're able to go out and make large profits in this sector while times are good, great. How many of you guys fix and flip? Raise your hands if you guys fix and flip. Okay, you fix and flippers. You guys go in, and truth be told, I used to fix and flip too. I don't fix and flip. If there was money in fix and flipping, and I could make more money doing fix and flips than doing this, that's what I'd be doing. But I don't do fix and flips for a specific reason. There is too much compression in my profits. So what happens with fix and flips is your average profits between 30 to 60K, and they fall into this sector. And so when you go in with this little amount of profit right here, if something happens to the market, you're fucked, period. Okay? And what happens with fix and flippers, and you guys can all confirm this for me, is that fix and flipping is a game. And it's like you're playing Russian roulette. Is what you're doing. You're spinning the barrel, you're pulling the trigger, and you're like, shit, I got one more done. And you didn't blow your brains out. Okay? And that's fix and flipping. Because fix and flipping is like a race, man. You get a fix and flip, I think I got time for one more in this market. You go in, you fix. You're trying to race to get it sold, and you're like, okay, make some money. You look at the market, like, yeah, Biden's not doing anything too stupid. He's stupid, but not too stupid. Trump's not doing anything too crazy, but, Trump is doing some crazy shit, but it's good crazy shit. And so you're like, okay, I think I got time for one more, right? So then you go take another one down. It's like race. And you're hoping that you get to the end of your 5th barrel, and you go, shit, 6-1 has a bullet in it. Fuck that gun, I'm throwing it away, right? And you're hoping that when you play Russian roulette, it's the sixth chamber. Don't play that game, guys. It's too dangerous. Because what if it's the 1st chamber? What if it's the 3rd chamber? Do you know? I don't know. That's why I don't play it. Okay? And that's why I don't play in this sector right here. Okay? Now, this constitutes the upper middle class. These are people buying homes, guys, between $600K, $500, but I don't want you guys at $500,000. I want you guys at $600,000 and over. Okay? So we go $600K on resale prices all the way up to about $1.5 million. Okay? I'll let you guys get up to $1.5 million here in Florida because it can afford it. But you have to be in a better area. You got to be in like Juniper Island. You got to be in Clearwater. You got to be someplace that has money to be in the 1.5. The average upper median, guys, the average upper median, $600 to $1 million. Just stay there. I never built houses. I've built 5 houses in my entire career that sold for over $1 million. 5. And I've probably built over 600 homes over my professional career. And most of those homes are all sit between $600,000 and $900,000. Right now, 100% of my homes sit between $800,000 and $900,000. Everyone, and we're making about $300,000 on every single house. Okay? Now, and I only build 2 or 3 a year because I build multifamily. That's my thing. But my wife, I could build my multifamily from my living room, and by 11 o'clock, my wife's like, "Are you gonna leave yet today?" She's like, "You gonna go anyplace?" Because I start bugging the shit out of her. Because I'm on the phone, I'm like, "Shh," and she kicks me out of the house. So I go build a couple houses so I have something to go check on so I can leave for the day. Okay? Now, when we go in, guys, this is the market sector. How do you know that those homes are gonna sell? You don't buy any land, ladies and gentlemen. You just don't go in and say, "Hey, I'm gonna go look for land." Land is the second thing you do. What you do first is you look for a demographic area that supports this right here. That supports this right here. So when we go in, ladies and gentlemen, we go in and we look at comps. Comps are first, guys. It's the number one thing that we look at. Okay? Most people go and look for land and they forget to look for comps. Comps are the number one thing in anything you do. How many of you guys want to get into multifamily? Okay? If you want to get into multifamily, you have to understand the benefits and attributes of what a pro forma does for you. The pro formas in multifamily are the equivalents of comps in residential real estate. Does that make sense? The pro formas tell you what that asset performs at before you even build it. It tells you what your next door neighbor is building, is renting their apartments for. It tells you what their occupancy is. It tells you what they're in need of, and there's no occupancy. What is there a deficit in that market sector? It tells you what their expense percentage is over its entire revenue stream so that you know what it's going to cost you to run that asset. Don't you think it'd be a little bit smarter to build multifamily if you went in and the market told you what it needed instead of going in and saying, "My name is Jerome. I know what this market needs. I'm going to build some 2-bedroom apartments." Well, what if that market doesn't need 2-bedroom apartments? What if there's a deficit and a waiting list on 3 bedrooms or 1 bedrooms? Why not build 1 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms if that's what that market needs? Does that make sense? Yeah. But most people that are sitting here sit back and they go, they find a piece of land, like, "Oh, I'm going to go build a bunch of 2-bedroom apartments, or I'm going to go build a bunch of 1-bedroom apartments." I always ask them, why? How do you know? Who told you? The pro formas. The pro formas tell you. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. The comps tell you. If the comps don't support it, you don't do it, guys. Listen to this. How many of you guys love going to Las Vegas? Anybody love going to Las Vegas? Atlantic City? Las Vegas, Atlantic City? How many people like to go out and party and go to Atlantic? You go, "Shit, I'm going to party right here." Go to Vegas. What's that? What happens if you haven't? We got to get you started to travel, bro. I mean, shit, life's too short, baby. You got to start traveling. To get you making some money, building some houses, you can sit back and you can travel a little bit. Okay? The world is small. Okay? So if you never traveled anywhere, God bless your heart. I pray for you. Please go travel because there's good food and good places all over this earth. Okay? Now, what I tell you guys is this. If you go to Las Vegas, you go to Atlantic City, do you think they're building these billion-dollar casinos because they're going broke? Do you think they're building them because they're going broke? Anybody? No? Okay. So listen, guys. The casinos function on a house set of rules. Okay? This house set of rules allows them to function on a 4% profit that makes them billions and billions of dollars. The odds are in their favor with a 4% override on everything they do. Okay? Now, when you sit back and you look at that, if you function on the same set of house rules that the casinos do, how many think you guys would have a better experience when you go to Atlantic City or Las Vegas and you walk out of there knowing that you just increased your odds over the house or at least alongside that? How many people think you'll be more successful? Yeah. Now, here's the thing, guys. What if you learned how to underwrite deals exactly like the banks? Do you think you'd be more successful taking down real estate deals if you understood how the banks function? Because, listen up, banks are in the business of doing what? Lending money, right? Okay, so if the banks are in the business of lending money, they make money on the money they lend. Do you think they're more vested in any piece of real estate than that you are personally? Because if they take on 75% of the risk financially, you're only taking and assuming 25% of the risk. Does that make sense? So what if you function on the same set of rules that the bank functions on? How many of you guys think you'd be more successful in real estate if you function on the same set of house rules? Okay. How many of you guys think that you'll get more money? There's a bunch right here, Etho, on this side right here, because everybody's filling that side. I got a bunch of seats right in here too. Not a bunch, but we got like 5 or 6. Okay, thank you, bro. So listen, guys, I want you guys to think from a lending perspective, because most people don't get taught this in school. Most people in school are getting taught nothing about finances. Then they get out, they go buy their little white house with their little white picket fence, and they get to learn conforming lending. Okay, so when they go out and they learn conforming lending, they're looking at debt to income ratio. They're looking at your credit score. How many of you guys in here have an 800 credit score? Raise your hand. Okay, you guys have 800 credit scores? All you guys? Okay. God bless your heart. I've never had an 800 credit score. Ever. I treat my credit like a stolen car, man. I beat the shit out of it every day. I think the highest my credit has ever been maybe a 760. Maybe. It hovers between a 680 and a 720 most of the time because I'm using the crap out of it. You know, I have credit to use. I use the crap out of my credit. But guess what, guys? At any given time, I have over $100 million in loans out, and at any given time, you know, consistently, we're building over $100 million of development at any given time. Like right now, I think we have in total loan debt, we have over $500 million in loans right now. But I'm okay with that. You know why? Because every single piece of property I have produces cash. Make sense? Okay. Now, listen, guys. Here's the thing. How many of you guys in here? Because I want you guys to think about this from a mental perspective. All you guys that have 800 credit scores, I respect it, but it means not a piece of pot shit in the lending world. Because if you go out, you have $1 million building, $5 million building, and that asset doesn't pencil, in spite of your credit score, do you think that the banks are going to lend you money? No. They're not going to lend you money. It doesn't matter what your credit score is. If that thing doesn't pencil, they're not going to lend you money. You know what the bank is looking at more so than you? Yes. They're looking at the asset itself. Okay? So when we're looking at comps, the banks are looking at assets. Okay? They're not looking at your ass. They're looking at assets. Okay? They're not looking at your ass. They don't care about your 800 credit score. They're looking at the asset itself. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Now I'm gonna say it this way because I was just in El Paso, Texas, and when I asked this question, nobody raised their hand, and I need you guys to participate here because I'm making a point. I am not ICE. Okay? Let's just get this straight. I am not ICE. I'm not affiliated with ICE. I have no intentions of sending you guys back to your country. How many of you guys are immigrants that did not go through our U.S. education system? Raise your hand. Okay? I'm just joking. Get them out of here. Okay. Why'd you come to America?
My family moved here.
Why?
Get wealthier.
Opportunity. Financial opportunity. Okay? Who else? Who else have their hands up? Why did you come to America?
Same reason.
Same reason? How about you?
Same
reason. How back there? There was a few hands back here. Why'd you come to America?
The situation in my country is very complicated right now.
Okay, better place to live, safer, healthier place to live here in America? Yeah, in spite of all our problems, guys, in spite of all our problems, we're still the best country in the world to live when it comes to entrepreneurship and business. Okay? And truth be told, guys, in spite of all our problems, these immigrants I'll put money on the fact that people that are not born and raised and don't go through our U.S. education system, I'll put money on the fact that these immigrants will be more successful quicker than those of you guys who went through our U.S. education system. Okay? You know why? They didn't spend 13,000 hours in an education system that's broken. They didn't spend 13,000 hours in an education system that was created by the Rockefellers to teach you guys how to be their slaves, how to go in and be employees to their companies. Does that make sense? And that's the truth behind it, guys. So unfortunately, they don't teach this shit in school. The reason you guys are here is because they don't teach it. So if you think that for a minute, you guys open your mind, even though you guys weren't taught this in school, doesn't make it wrong. This is the way the banks work. So for you guys to understand this, you have to understand that what I'm talking about is investment lending. It's not conforming lending. It's not buying a house. They don't give a shit about your debt to income ratio. My debt to income ratio is all skewed. I can't afford to pay back $500 million worth of loans if they called them due on me today. But the assets themselves produce enough cash that those assets stand on their own 2 feet because I understand how lending works. Does that make sense?
Wow.
How did I scale from nothing, from the Hispanic kid from the other side of the train tracks to hundreds of millions of dollars in development? Because I learned banking. I learned how underwriting works. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, and to my benefit, I was dyslexic, and so I probably didn't learn shit in school. So I was just like the immigrants. I came out with probably a 4th grade education level, and so I didn't learn anything that you guys learned in school because I didn't know how to freaking read. Okay? But to my benefit, we have over $160 million in development ground up because I was damn good at math. Okay? So let's go through this. Now, when we come in, guys, I want you guys to think about this from a mental perspective. I know the areas because I have people building out here. Now, when we come into this area, one of the things about Florida that I still know about Florida is land is still very affordable. You could go in and build a house at $700,000 and buy a piece of land that's still under $100,000 in Florida. Now, most of the areas, the land is going to be about 15 to 20% of the overall resale price. So when people go in and say, well, land's expensive here, land's expensive in some of the wealthier areas, good. Because where land is expensive, your opportunity grows and so does your profit. Does that make sense? Okay, now, I need you guys to pull out your phones. Let's underwrite this right now. Let's go in and let's say that we go and we build an $850,000 house. Now, some of you guys might sit back and say, I can't afford an $850,000 house. Yeah, you can. Maybe you can't afford it for you to live in, but you can't afford not to build a house that's at least $600,000 to $1 million. The bank isn't looking at you. You're less important to the bank than you think you are. What they're looking at is they're looking at the asset. They're looking at the asset itself, and they're evaluating the comps. But you're going to do that on your behalf, exactly what the bank is going to do once you get through the process of architecture, surveying, and engineering. You're going to go into the bank, and you're going to provide them with your architecture, with your surveys, and with your engineering to ultimately get permits and money. Okay? Now, this is the process, guys, as we go through this. Now, when we go through this, ladies and gentlemen, this right here equals money. Okay? Provided that this supports the comps in that area. Okay? Now, land, never pay more than 20% for land than the asset value itself. So if you go run comps, anything under 20% is going to be in your favor. That includes the utilities, ladies and gentlemen. So if you go in, you pay 20% for the land, but yet you don't have electricity, and you have to run it from down the road, and it costs you $20,000, that $20,000 comes from your bottom line profitability. It doesn't come from your profit line profitability because you have to consider that when you buy, okay? If there's not water and you got to dig a well, that well has to be considered on the front end. Now, that's a finished price on your land. When I say finished price, that is a piece of land with utilities on the lot, not nearby the lot, on the lot. Okay? Now, you may have to pay $7,000 for the water meter. That's okay. You may have to pay $10,000 for a septic tank. That's okay. You might have to pay $2,000 for them to run the gas from the lot to your house. That's okay. Those costs are absorbed in your build cost. But running it from up the road to the house, then paying that cost to get it to the house, is not included in the cost of the land. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you guys learning anything yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when we go in, guys, let's say that we're selling an $850,000 house. The comps support houses that are selling between $800,000 and $1 million in a given area. We go out and say, okay, I don't want to build the biggest house, but I don't want to build the smallest house in the area. I want to take a fair market house. And so I always tell people in this business model, stay within 1,700 square feet to 3,000 square feet. Now, if you get as big as 3,500, I won't kill you guys. You start going over 3,500 square feet, you start really pressing the business model because people don't need a 4,000 square foot house. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, they'll fill it Because my wife filled our 10,000 square foot house. I don't know. We went from a 2,600 square foot house to a 10,000 square foot house 8 years ago, and every freaking closet's filled. And I was like, I go, babe, like, stop buying shit. Like, there's no place to put anything. Like, how do you fill a freaking 10,000 square foot house? I don't know, marry my wife. She's good at filling a 10,000 square foot house. You know, I don't know how she does it, but she does it. But people don't need a 4,000 square foot house. You know what people need? They need a nice 4-bedroom house to raise a family. They need a nice 3-bedroom house to raise a family. So we go in, and what do we build? What do we build? We build what the comps tell us to build. I look at two things, guys. I look at two things. I look at highest price per square foot, okay? Highest price per square foot, and I look at lowest days on the market. If there's a house that's $10,000 less expensive, but that house sat on the market for 30, 60, 90 days less, I'm building that house. You know why? I don't want the liability. I don't want that house sitting. Moving money is good money. Stagnant money is bad money. You never want your money stagnant. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now, so when we go in, we never build over 3,000 square feet. I'll let you guys get to 3,500, but I'm not even going to put that on the board. Okay, this is the abbreviation for square footage. Okay, for square feet. That's what we're going to build. So we go out, we see that the comps support a 2,550 square foot house. Okay, just call it a random square foot. Call 2,550 on the square footage. Okay, on the house we're building. That house is going to sell. It's going to sell for $850,000. Okay, now I will tell you guys, you can make a profit on any house that will sell for over $275 per square foot. Okay, if you can't get comps of $275 per square foot, don't even build. It's not worth the risk. It's not worth your time. Go flip hamburgers at McDonald's. Okay, so you'll make more money with less risk doing that than if you're building for a price per square foot under $275 a square foot. And once you hit $300 a square foot, you start making real money. Now, I have people that are building and making $285 a square foot, still making $150,000 on every single house. Okay, so I'm not going to feel sorry for you. But once you get over $300,000 a square foot, that's when you start making like dual six-figure profits. 200,000, 220, 230, 250 on your profitability. So I love when people have markets, and you guys do, where it supports a $300 per square foot build. Now, when we go in, we're going to go in and we're going to build a 2,550 square foot house. Resale price is $850. Let's say that the land price is $175,000. Okay, I usually will pay about $130,000 per lot where I build for about an $850,000 house. But let's say that's a little bit more. Let's say that the land itself is $175,000. Can you find a nice piece of land in an upper middle class area here in Florida for $175,000? No? How much is it?
Not in Miami.
No, not in Miami, guys. Hold on.
That's
Not in Miami.
there you
Not
go.
here in Miami. Guys, if you come in, Miami's like what I'm doing up in Kirkland, Washington. What I do in Kirkland, Washington, just to get it clear, because I do this in California. So let me expand this a little bit. The vast majority of you guys that are building here, we be building dense. We be building stuff like duplexes, fourplexes. We be doing stuff that we're doing higher end single family homes that are pushing closer to those $2 million marks or above. And the land is going to cost you someplace right around $300,000 to $400,000, and maybe even as much as $500,000. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now that's Miami. That's what I do in Kirkland, Washington. What I do in Kirkland, Washington, I go in and I buy one single family home for $800,000 to $1 million, and I level it, or I donate the house, which is what, if you guys see my social media, that's what we did on the last several homes we did in Seattle, was we lifted them off the foundation. We found a nonprofit organization, a church, that we donated the entire house to. It cost us $25,000 to lift the house and donate it, but we got a $500,000 appraisal on the house itself, minus the land, and we were able to take a $500,000 tax deduction, which saved us over $200,000 for a $20,000 investment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Makes sense. We do that all for the day long in Seattle. But then we take that lot, we build 6 houses on it. Or we build 5 houses on it, or we build 4 houses on it, depending on the square footage of the lot. And each lot costs us $250,000 per lot, but we're selling 1,500 square foot homes for $1.2 million. Okay? And we're making like almost $400,000 a house.
You ever run into like zoning problems?
What's that?
You ever run into zoning problems?
I don't run into zoning problems. And here's why. Because, yeah, there's zoning problems if you don't know what you're doing. If you work with me, you'll never run into zoning problems. We'll have you back into the deal and know that you're going to run into zoning problem before you even buy the land. Does that make sense? Most people buy the land, go and fight the city. You don't do that stuff. When you work with us, you go in and you do your due diligence. When you're doing your due diligence, you make sure that the city's going to support what you're doing. And if it doesn't, your contingencies surround your protection of making sure that you get the density and the zoning you need. So I've never, 100% of my deals get zoning approved, 100%, or I don't buy the deal. Okay, like I got a deal in Bernalillo right now in a small municipality. We're doing an adult active living facility for 31 units, and I don't know if we're going to get zoning. So I tied up the land for 6 months for due diligence, and if it gets approved, I buy the land. If it doesn't, they get their land back, I get all my money back. Make sense? Okay, so no, I don't run into zoning issues. I know what I'm doing, and you won't run into zoning issues if you're working with us because you'll know what you're doing. Make sense? Okay. Now, when we go in, guys, this 2,550 square foot house, if you build here in Miami, the cost of living in Miami is more expensive. So your cost to build is also going to be more expensive because the cost for labor for people that live in Miami is more expensive. But will people drive from 45 minutes away to come work here in Miami? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, they will. So like what I do in Seattle is instead of hiring right in Seattle and Kirkland or Bellevue, where labor is super expensive, I source them out of Redmond or Tacoma, and I have them come down 45 minutes to an hour because it cuts my build costs down. So where in most cities, the national average to build a house is $141 a square foot, okay? The national average is 141. That's according to the National Association of Home Builders. It's not Jerome's numbers. It's the National Association of Home Builders. Now, our product is nicer. So the national average for our students is about $160 a square foot to build these houses. And truth be told, it's because most of our students have to hire a general contractor because they themselves do not have the experience to build their first homes. So when you go in, we work with you guys to help you guys onboard the right general contractors so that you can go in and build that house, but you have a cost towards that. It's going to be about $165 a square foot. Okay. Now, if you build right here in Miami, your cost to build will be closer to about $185 a square foot. Does that make sense? Now, when you have a family and you're coming into the Florida market and you just say that you're working as a professional right here in Miami, and you're a family, you're somebody, let's say you're a doctor, you're a surgeon, you're doing pulmonary surgery. And so you're the kick-ass pulmonary surgeon and you're doing well. You're not rich and wealthy, but you're making $1 million a year, $800,000 a year, $500,000 a year. What subdivision do you move to? Because most people don't move straight into Miami to raise their kids. Most people will go out to the suburbs and raise their kids with a little bit of land. And let's say you have ATVs, trailers, and stuff like that. I'm do better. I want to live in an upper middle class neighborhood, and I'm somebody that does well. I have ATVs and I have horses and I have different stuff like that. Where do I move that's close to Miami that I can still commute into Miami? Homestead? Southwest Ranches? Okay. Now what I'm doing, guys, is I'm stretching your mind right here. These are the areas that you guys need to start thinking about. Does that make sense? I've never heard of Southwest Ranches in our communities down here. So Southwest Ranches. How much are the houses in that area? Average, like, what's the range? 2 million. North of 2 million? Okay. So the business model will be slightly different. We build in that area, we're building houses that probably cost $185 to $200 a square foot. But the land's probably costing what on those ones? 350 grand?
No.
Is that $500,000? Yeah, if you're paying 750 grand for a lot, the house is actually selling for 3 million or more. Okay, because it's all percentage based, guys. So listen, guys. So when you guys get into this, and that doesn't have to be your area, mind you, there is multiple micro markets everywhere here. Okay. Understand that there is multiple micro markets everywhere. There's multiple micro markets in every single demographic across the United States. It's not just one area. There's going to be active people say, I don't have a horse. I don't want to live in mini ranches. Why would I pay that much for a piece of land? I don't have a horse. I don't have ATVs. No, they're not Jerome. You know, I love dirt bikes and ATVs. I grew up around horses and all stuff. So that was me. But when other people come out, they just go, look, I want a nice upper middle class area. I don't care if it's a little more dense. But I don't care about having the big lots. I just want to be someplace that's within an hour of Miami, but I want my family in a suburb area that doesn't have the congestion of Miami on a Friday, Saturday night. Make sense? Healthier, better lifestyle, better quality of life for family living. Make sense? For that upper middle class demographics. What is that micro market that you go into and get those comps, okay? Now, here in the Miami area, there's a lot of money, and so yes, you are gonna find land that's more expensive. It's percentage based, guys. So you have to look at it from that 15 to 20% marginal area. Now, if you're sitting on the high end of it, these lots are in excess of $200,000, your build costs are probably gonna be about 185, but your resale price is gonna be closer to about 1.5 to $3 million. Now, I will tell you guys, this market can hold to it, kind of. And the reason why, if you guys have a hurricane or there's a market compression, those areas get hit first, okay? That lands up taking you back to this market sector right here, which is dangerous, okay? So I tell you guys, when you go into this market sector, stay closer to that $1 million mark, 850 mark. And I'm underwriting this to be conservative, just to put downward pressure on my business model. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, but I want to be realistic with it. So if it's 175K for the land for an $850,000 bill, that's about the most I pay for that land on that bill. Okay, if we go into an area, and this is just simply a simple theoretical example to give you an idea, and then I'll underwrite one at $2 million to show you the difference real fast. Let's do it real quick. Now, when we go in here, guys, let's say that you guys don't do it for the average, that our students are doing it for, it even costs you a little bit more, even 170 a square foot. Okay, so even if it costs you $170 a square foot, pull out your phones real quick and multiply for me 170 times 2550.
433.
What is it?
433.
433?
500.
Let's put 433. How about that? Okay, this is your build cost. Okay, now when we go in here, guys, this is our build cost. Now, if we go in, we have our land, we have our build cost, we're gonna have our closing cost. What is 6% of $850,000, guys?
61 grand.
51K?
Yeah.
Okay. What is our financing cost is gonna be about $25,000. So our cost for financing, let's call it 30K. Let's go a little higher. Okay. Now, 434 plus 175. What's that number, guys?
609.
609? Okay, 609K. Now, when we do our entire amount here, we have 651, what is that, 680, so 600, 690? Okay, so we have 690K, and then we subtract that from 850, what's that minus 850, guys? 160? Okay, that's your profitability. That's your net out. Okay, that's your average net out. Okay, $160,000, that's a part-time job, guys. Building one house is part-time. I want you guys to think about this from a perspective. Most people sitting here will never get wealthy, truth be told. But if it improves the quality of your life, that's instrumental. My brother-in-law has been my brother-in-law for 27 years. And 27 years ago, when he was in his 20s, I was already building houses. And so he took on a few builds back then. He did 3 of them at the same time that I was really vamping this up. And he set him and his wife up, but they didn't have any debt. All they did is go in, and they did 3 houses at that point in time, and they landed up buying a house. They didn't build their own house. They went out buying a house that they just paid off cash. And what they landed up doing is they did 2 more. And they've done 5 homes in 27 years. That's it, just 5 homes in 27 years. But they're able to do with their kids what we do with our kids, and we have millions and millions of dollars. We have a net worth in excess of over $100 million. And I'll tell you guys that they're able to do the same lifestyle. You know why? They don't have no bills. They don't have no car payments. They don't have no house payments. So all their expendable capital they make working full-time jobs. My sister-in-law works as a professor at one of the universities, making about 120 grand a year. My brother-in-law's a nonprofit. He works a nonprofit job. He runs 2 nonprofit organizations. He probably makes about $80,000 on salary between each nonprofit. So he probably makes about 160 grand a year. But making modest incomes, guys, they're able to travel, do with their kids, put them in sports because they have no bills. And they've improved the quality of their life. Now that my kids and their kids are real close in age, are graduating high school, he goes, Jerome, I want to do 2 more builds. I said, no problem. He goes, I just want to set ourselves up so when we retire, we're in a position to be able to go and travel and do with our kids because his daughter's going to move to New York. She just got a scholarship to New York, and he just wants to be able to be in a position where they have a little bit more expendable money. They're simple people. They're not like, and we're simple people too, but they're simple. They don't need all the money. But imagine what that quality of life would do for you individually, just being able to do just that. How would that, you have to think about it from a perspective. What would that do for you personally if all you did is pay off your house and your cars and everything that you made in your full-time job became real income that you can put towards your family and the quality of your life? How would that change your life? It'd make a big difference, wouldn't it? Yeah, and it will for anybody. And so here's the thing, guys. When we go in, maybe this is part-time, 10 hours a week. Maybe you don't do it full-time. But you come in 10 hours a week for 6 months. Can you manage that in 6 months? In a 6-month bill, be able to go out? How many of you guys would improve your lifestyle making $160,000 extra dollars? Yeah, okay? And that's the reality behind it. Now, when we go in and do this, guys, the reason that we don't function on this one right here is I'm going to show you why, okay? This is what the Build Wealth Workshop is about. This QR code right there, and the reason you guys are here is for this right here, guys, the Build Wealth Workshop, okay? Here in Miami, guys, I've only done 3 of these workshops ever, and one of them is going to be right here in Miami. It's our 4th one that we're doing right here in Miami. Last one was in Nashville, Tennessee. The other one was in San Francisco. The time before that, it was in Scottsdale, Arizona. And ladies and gentlemen, you guys have an opportunity to come in and learn how to underwrite this. Here's the attributes to it when I talk about the workshop, and here's why you guys need to be here. So you're here in Miami, you don't have to travel. That's one thing. But when you go in, guys, you're going to get this money right here, the 609, okay? When you get this 609, this first draw pays for the land itself, okay? Now, when you go in, the bank's going to ask you for an underwriting spreadsheet, and the underwriting spreadsheet, this is my Cabazon project. It's a $55 million development, but it's the same spreadsheet we use for multifamily. It's the same spreadsheet we use for residential homes. It's a budgeting spreadsheet that we utilize to be able to go in and give to the lenders. Without this spreadsheet, the lenders will not give you draws on your project. You have to know how to fill out this underwriting spreadsheet. If you don't know how to fill out the underwriting spreadsheet and underwrite the cost to build the house, the cost to build an apartment complex, the bank's not going to give you the money because they're not just going to dump $609,000 in your bank account. The banks are going to give you money based on draws and your actual performance and what you've completed on your bill. Does that make sense? And so what we do is we go in, you underwrite the cost of the land, the cost of the dirt work, the foundation, the plumbing rough-in, the plumbing trim out, the electrical, the mechanical, heating and cooling, all of your shingles, your roofing, your walls, your drywall, the cabinets, the flooring, the whole 9 yards, all the way down. Every single line item is on that list, okay? Now, you fill out 2 of these spreadsheets, 2 of them. One of them is for you, okay? This is your execution numbers, okay? Your execution numbers are 609. That's what you're going to execute to. Now, when we go in, guys, the banks don't expect that you're going to work for free because nobody works for free. So every time I tell people this, hey guys, there's some seats up here. I got 3 seats up here in the front. Come up here and join me. You guys look like you don't carry body odor, and I'm not going to say that you're sexy. That ain't happening. But you guys are welcome to come up here and join me. Okay, now, when we go in, guys, these are our execution numbers. So when we go in and we underwrite this, we're underwriting this at $609,000, okay? The bank doesn't expect you to work for free. So when you go in, what we do on our multifamily projects, what we do on residential projects, what our students do is they go out and they do a retail underwriting on this bill. So when they go out, they're going to go out and underwrite this bill at $850,000, okay? Because how many people in today's real world walk into any home with excess equity when they buy new? Anybody? No. Not in today's market. So you maximize the underwriting. So we go in, we have the exact same things. We have the land, we have the dirt work, the foundation, the framing package, the roofing, the plumbing, electrical, mechanical, flooring, doors, windows, everything. All of it. And we had a management fee down here. We had a development fee down here. We increased this by 15 to 20%, and it comes up to $850,000. You know why? The bank's only going to give you between 75 and 80% of your loan to value or your loan to cost. So if we go in and we take 75% of this $850,000, what is 75% of $850,000, guys? Punch it in your phones real quick.
637.
637? Okay, $637, $637,000, okay? This is what the bank is willing to give you based on your underwriting. And some people sit back and say, well, how do I make the payments on that? They take a reduction of your proceeds to service your interest reserve, which will be about 20K. So even if you take 20K from this on your interest reserve, the rest of those are fees. That other 10,000 is fees. But if you take 20,000 from interest reserve, that's still going to be $617,000. That pays the debt service while the build is getting done, or it doesn't come out of your pocket. It comes from what's called the reduction of proceeds. It's a banking term, okay? So they reduce your proceed amount minus what your debt service is for 12 months. And so that way you don't have to worry about it. You just have to go in and do this build like everybody else, 6, 8, 9 months, and even if you're slow and it takes you a year, the proceeds come from your loan. Make sense? Okay, now, when we do that, guys, we have 617. What do we need to pay for the land and the bill? 609. The rest of that is contingency money. Just leave it there. If you don't need it, don't use it. If you need it, you have it. But just go in, now you just execute, and these are your execution numbers. You go in, the first draw is for the land, okay? Now, I make it look real cut and dry in here, but there's a method to the madness on how you underwrite these, and that's why I do these workshops, because those are instrumental. Once you learn one time how the banks really work and how those spreadsheets work, you will be protected forever. You'll never have a money issue ever again. So if you're doing fix and flips, it's not, your bandwidth grows. And here's why. You guys want to see why I don't do fix and flips and why I stay in this business model? How many of you guys have another 5-10 minutes in you real quick? You got it? You got 5-10 minutes in you? Okay? Because if you do $1 million, if you do a $2 million bill, look at this. If you do a $2 million bill, don't do $2 million bills, guys. Okay? But let me show you real quick. $2 million bill, your profitability goes up. The lots are costing what? 400,000? 500,000? Okay. So we have 500K for the land. We're probably building closer to about a 4,000 square foot house at that point in time, right? So we have 500K for the land. What's 4,000 times 100 and let's do $200 a square foot. 200 times 4,000. 800 grand. Okay, so our build cost is 800K at $200 a square foot because now we're building a bigger, nicer home. Better landscaping, better fixtures. Okay, now we go in. Our debt service is now going to be closer to probably about $50,000 for that build because it takes us a tiny bit longer and it's a little bit more money. And we're going to have a closing cost of $2 million. What's 6% of $2 million, guys? That's 120? So 120. Okay, we add this up. What's 500, 800? That's 1.3. That's 1.3, 1.4, 1.47? Yeah. $1.47 million. Your net out is $530,000. 530, okay? Net.
It's terrible.
How you doing?
Great.
Doing okay, right? Okay, now, I don't like that market just because it's an unsafe market. Those are the people that end up sitting on these $2 million homes. Now you're paying now your construction loan's done, you're paying debt service on it. That's why I don't like that shit. You guys understand? Because how many of you guys want to do the debt service on 500 that's your net? How many of you guys want to do your debt service on $1.4 million every single month for 6 months as that thing sits there? You see why I don't build $2 million homes? It's not safe, man. I don't want my mind focused on a debt service on $1.47 million. That's great profit, guys. And if you go out and you build it, you're going to do well with it. But I don't want to sit on this for 6 months. So what do we look for? Lowest amount of days in the market, highest profitability. Lowest days in the market, highest profitability. Make sense? I'd rather go make 160 and keep turning my cash because long term, you go out and you do a multiplier of time. You're going to sit on these for 6 months. Multiplier on time, you're going to make more. Doing the contrary. Okay? Down to the turn. Okay, now, I want you guys to understand this. Okay? You guys have to understand this right here. This is the most important piece of it. Don't play it safe, guys. Now, we go in, we build a $420,000 house. That's the national average. That's your average median home. Okay? We're only going to come in, maybe we pay $60,000 for the lot. Okay? So if we go in, we pay $65,000 for the land. Land is $65K. Our build costs are probably lower because it's a simpler house. So now we go in and maybe our build costs are only $150 a square foot. But we go in and let's say the house is even smaller because it's less money. So we made it 2,300 square feet times 100, and let's even call it 145 a square foot, okay? Let's call it 140 a square foot, okay? Let's go over the national average. What's 2,300 times $140 a square foot, guys?
322.
322? Debt is gonna cost you guys about 20K. What's closing costs on a $420,000 house? Six percent, 420. What's 6% of 420, guys?
25.
What is it?
25,000.
25,000. Okay, so now we have 65, 3, 65, 85, 85, 86, 87, 20, so we have 407, but we have 432,000? Is that 432?
Yes, yes.
Shit, that doesn't even make sense. See, that's why I don't do that shit. Okay, now, let's go in, let's build this shit let's build that shit, they're dead serious, guys. So let's build this damn thing for $125 a square foot. So now, we go in and build it for $125 a square foot. 2,300 and 125 a square foot, you can build it at that. So you go into Port St. Lucie, you build it out there, because that's like Port St. Lucie, right? The 2,300 times 125, what's that cost? What is it?
285.
287. Okay, it's 287. Called 287. Now, let's say that we only paid $50,000 for the land. We paid $50K for the land. Debt services, let's say it's call it like $18,000. Closing costs is called, well, it's still the same. It's $25,000, right? So now where are we at, guys? $25,000.
380.
So 380? Okay, so 380. Okay, so we're selling for 420. We have a $30,000 profit. Okay, we have a $30,000 profit. 40,000. Oh yeah, 40,000. Sorry, guys. So we have a $40,000 profit, even better. Okay, better make more money. Okay, now look at this. Let me show you guys something. We do the exact same thing. We go out, we underwrite this thing at 420, and we underwrite it at our execution amount. Our execution amount is these two numbers right there. So we have 337,000 for this first one. This is our execution. We underwrite it there. We underwrite it here at 420. What's even 80% of 420, guys? We won't even do 75%. What's 80% of 420?
336.
336?
Yep.
Okay, so 336. Okay, now, you barely have enough, and I'm pressing this stuff. So 336, guys, that's just those two items right there. Now, we have to take a subtraction of debt service. So we have to come up with $20,000 because we have to go in and the bank's going to do a reduction of proceeds to pay your debt. So now they take $20,000 away from this. Now you go in and you're at 316K. Guess who has to come up with the difference?
My investors.
You do, or your investors do. But why would you put so much stress on your investors' money? So now you're going to have investors' capital. Now you're going to pay money on your investors. And so now the reason that our business model works and the reason that you can't go in and get your land paid for doing what you do is a fix and flipper or doing this is because the bank doesn't have enough equity to cover the difference in the variance. And that's going in, and that's if everything works perfect at an 80% loan to value or loan to cost at a $420,000 land price, provided that you can find a $50,000 lot with utilities and provided you can build at $125 a square foot. You see how much stress that puts on me? Now I got to manage a piece of shit build at $125 a square foot. So I got to build with about very little money, and I got to build a good quality product with very little money. And I got to go compete with DR Horton Bolt because they build a decent product at that price, yeah? And now you can't even pay for the land because you don't have enough equity in the asset, okay? Now they are going to go to conforming lending. They're going to start looking at you through a telescope. Now all of a sudden conforming lending comes back in. Why don't I like this? Because now you're working for like a slave for the bank. Does that make sense? Too high risk. Don't play it safe, guys. Playing it safe puts you at a higher risk than playing it smart. Does that make sense? Don't play it safe, play it smart. You will have to come to the table with more money playing it safe and going in and playing it like the banks play it. Play the asset game, guys. The asset game is how wealthy people get wealthy, okay? And that's why on Sunday at our Build Wealth Workshop, it's called Millionaire Workshop. Because there's a difference between the way millionaires and billionaires think and the way the average person thinks. The problem is the average person goes in, and if they strike the right time, they do well, but a lot of people still don't have the mindset. So that's why most people, over 85% of people who win the lottery, they're worse off in less than 2 years than they were when they won the lottery, because they don't have the mindset to be able to protect that money. Does that make sense? And so you have to understand that there's a way you need to think. Because when we go in, guys, and we go out and make this $160,000, you can go out, if you make 160, you're gonna spend 200. That's the way the average person does it. Is it not? You make 160, you spend 200, you go out and build another house, then I won't be in debt, then you spend that too. The way millionaires work is we sit back and we go, what if we go in and we take this $160,000, we collateralize it, and we turn that into $1.5 million worth of lending power. Now I have a $1.5 million worth of lending power. What can I do with $1.5 million worth of lending power? How do I leverage that to go out and build the foundation of my business? Does that make sense? So on Sunday, what we do is we teach you how to leverage your proceeds to go out and compound your money. That's how the wealthy people get wealthy. It's the difference in mindset. It's how I took a small concrete business in 1998 and turned it into over $600 million in development and ownership of assets. And that $600 million, yes, I have loans on it, but 100% of that is mine. I own it. It's my shit. Does that make sense? And I was broke as shit. I started with a 460 credit score in 1998 because I was doing multi-level marketing and I ruined my credit. And I lost all my credit because the company I was working with went out of business by the FTC in 1997. If you guys Google, he went on to that. We were the fastest growing privately held company in American history in 1995. And in 1997, we got shut down by the FTC. And we just grew too fast and we couldn't fix our growth. And the FTC came in and shut us down before we were able to fix it. I didn't own the company. I was a salesperson for the company, but I was kicking ass, making $250,000 a year in 1995, 96, and we were doing it right here in Florida. And I'll tell you guys that I ruined my credit doing that. That's when I got into construction, it was in 1998. And so if somebody with a 460 credit score in their 20s could go out and do this, you can too. But the biggest thing is, are you willing to listen and pay attention? That's the biggest question. Okay? So you guys on your phones got a link about 15 minutes ago, and that link is a registration link to join me at the Build Wealth Workshop right here in Miami. The biggest benefit to you guys don't have to travel. We'll have people from all over the country, and we'll probably have a lot of people from different parts of the world. We have people that come in from, what do we have? We have people from Nigeria, we have people from Ghana, we have people from New Zealand, we have people from Canada, we always get a lot of Canadians, we have a couple people from Mexico come in to our last workshop, and we will on this one as well, especially because we're right here in Miami. We have people from Cuba, from the Caribbean islands, and we have somebody from Jamaica before come in. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the process that we use right here in the United States is the same as it works worldwide. Okay, banking works very similar nationwide, worldwide. Okay, so understand, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have an opportunity to come. Now, the workshops, they're not free. I do them for free because I don't make no money on the workshops. If you multiply 250 people, $798 are the ticket prices to come in. When you register today, it's $598. They give you a $200 discount. Okay? And the reason why it ain't wow, it's wow, that's cheap. I hope that's like, wow, that's cheap, because I'm literally doing it for free. Because here's what the workshops come in with, guys, and you will never find it like this, ever in your life. We rent the room, we pay, it's gonna be at the Gaylord, right here in Miami, and it's gonna be for 2 days. You guys roll in on Saturday. The morning is all underwriting. So we come in, guys, we're gonna start you guys off with teaching you guys how to build a business line of credit. Okay, we're gonna do it live with you guys right there in the audience, and you're gonna build your business line of credit while we sit there from 9 o'clock to 9:30 to 10 o'clock in the morning. At 10 o'clock in the morning, you're gonna have all your first business lines of credit, your EIN number, you're gonna have your done number, you're gonna have your Better Business Bureau registration, you're gonna know how to go in and execute your operating agreements for your LLCs, and we're gonna go in and teach you guys how to do that. Why? Because now, when we go in and we do our second builds, you can do this with your personal credit, and then by the time you're done with your first build, you guys can go in and leverage your business line of credit to do 2 builds at the exact same time without any money out of pocket. Does that make sense? Because on Sunday, we're gonna teach you how to compound this. And what I want you guys to understand is that utilizing your business lines of credit is super, 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 super important. Okay? One, it de-risks you, and two, it gives you bandwidth. Okay? So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in and we're gonna go through this spreadsheet on Saturday morning. I don't bring in any people to motivate you guys. It ain't about motivation, it's about information. Okay? I do the training. Now, joining me will be people like a Tony Herrera that may sit on a panel that you guys get asked questions to. It might be an Ejito. It might be, multiple people that we have in our community that are already part of what we do, that sat in your guys' exact same seats a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that are already building. Because who better to ask questions and what problems they ran into than the people that are actually doing it? Does that make sense? And so I won't let anybody take my stage except for me. I will teach you guys what I do. The only people I'll let take my stage are the students that are in this area that have been kicking ass and crushing it, so you guys can ask them. And I tell them, they go, what do I need to talk about? They're all scared to get on stage. I say, man, you guys can have them and pour into them all your problems. You express to every single person there the problems you ran into, the problems they're going to run into. They don't care about your success. They're scared of the problems that you ran into. Can they live through them, right? Like, can you bleed and still walk? That's the question. Can you bleed and still walk? Yeah? Because how many of you guys is scare you? Be honest. How many of you guys are scared by this? How many of you guys are scared by the unknown? Don't be bullshitting me. Tell me. Seriously. It's different, right? But the thing is, guys, if you know you're going to go out and you're going to make it through the blood, you're going to do fine. So the biggest thing is that we go in and we underwrite the residential bills so you know how to get money by the time you go to lunch. At lunch is on me. We don't. I rented out the entire restaurant at the Gaylord Hotel, and so we'll pick you guys up from your seats. You guys will network with the people that are sitting there. You guys don't have to find restaurants. We bring it to you. You guys have steak, fish, chicken, salads, a whole 9 yards on me. I'll pick you guys up. I rented the entire friggin' restaurant for you guys. You guys will sit down, you'll network, you'll eat, you'll drink, and then we'll go back in. The afternoon is all multifamily. And we're gonna go in and we're gonna do the exact same thing we do with residential for multifamily. You know why? Because the second you guys go in, you build this. You guys have 3 more minutes in you? I see some people yawning. You guys all right? You got 3 minutes in you? You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Pull your phones back out. Need your help one more time. Okay. We make $160,000, guys. You have a tax liability. Okay. Now, when you're growing and you're a grocery store and you need more inventory, that inventory is a tax deduction. So I tell you guys, your first year in business, don't go in and pay taxes on that, okay? You're going to be in the top 0.2% of all money earners since the history of Adam and Eve. 95% of businesses that open fail in their very first year. Of the 5% that make it, 98% of those 5% don't turn a profit till year number 3. Till year number 3. If you build one house your very first year and you sell it for $850,000, your gross revenue is $850,000, guys. If you net 160 your very first year, you're in the top 0.2% of all money earners and business owners since the history of Adam and Eve. Does that make sense? Yeah. So getting business lines of credit when you're in the top 0.2% is not hard to do. Do you guys ever go to the bank and there's that little person with a little iPad? They're like, hi, ma'am. Hi, sir. You're standing in line like, how can I help you today? And then you go, oh, I'm just doing a deposit. Oh, I can help you with that. Come over here. They pull you out of the line and then they help you with a deposit. Oh, did you know you qualify for a business line of credit? You're like, oh, no, I'm good. Now you can sit back and go, actually, you know what? You're damn right. I sure damn do qualify for a business line of credit. Let's get that business line of credit going right now. How many of you guys turn that person away? How many of you guys ever turn that person away? How many of you guys ever see that person? Yeah? You know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah? Okay. Now you won't turn them away. And so when we go back in, guys, that's going to help you guys go out and get business lines of credit. Now, when we go in, guys, we have a tax liability of 160. We go in, we roll it into our second bill. Now we have a profit of 320 on our second bill. If your second year, all you do is 2 houses, now you're going to have another 160 plus the 2 you did and the original one you did. Now you have a tax liability of $480K after year 2. That's a problem, okay? Because $200,000 of that is owed to the IRS. That sucks. You guys know the big, beautiful bill that just passed? It's 100% bonus depreciation in the very first year. So if you go out and you build an 8-unit apartment complex, why do we teach you how to do this? Some people say, I don't want to build an apartment complex. I just want to make $160,000 building a house. Good for you. You will want to build one the second you get that tax bill in. That's why. All of a sudden, building that apartment complex is going to become very attractive, because an 8-unit apartment complex, if the national rents nationwide are $1,700 a month for new properties, your property is going to be worth about $2.2 million on an 8-unit apartment complex. Now, you go in on that 8-unit apartment complex, you cannot deduct the land, you cannot depreciate the land, because land doesn't depreciate because God's not making any more of it, is what the IRS says. So that's only worth $1.9 million, provided the land is $300,000. Okay? Now, you can go and write off $1.9 million doing an 8-unit apartment complex in year one, and when you write that $1.9 million off, ladies and gentlemen, even if you don't make $1.9 million, that tax deduction never expires until you use it. Does that make sense? So until you have a net taxable income of $1.9 million, you don't pay federal income taxes. How cool is that? Yeah. So yeah, you can do a cash out refi, you can do, because you're gonna have about $700,000 in equity in this thing. Plus, it's gonna cash flow at about, after all debt is paid, all expenses and your debt, you're gonna have about $38,000 per year in passive income as well. So you have this tax deduction, you have about $700K in equity, and you have $38,000 a year in passive income. Now, some people sit back and go, wow, $38,000 ain't shit. Well, most people work a damn government job, and they'll spend 30 years, and when they're done, they don't even get $38,000 a year. That's stupid. But realistically speaking, that's what people do. Some of you guys may have done it. I don't mean to insult you, but it happens. You know, I told that to my mom and dad one time. My mom, yes. You know, but I was young and stupid too. But that's what they do. And so, ladies and gentlemen, you can do that in 6 months, 9 months, and now you can go out and multiply that. That's not bad. Long-term passive income for the rest of your life in a 6-month bill, is it? No. Okay. Now,
Jerome, can I ask you something?
Hey Rick, come on up here, bro.
That business line credit operations, what do they use to qualify you for it?
You're going to qualify your business. They're going to use it like if you're working a job right now, your business money is the money you make in your personal job, because your business started with nothing. So you're contributing your personal money originally to start your business. So if you make $80,000 a year doing whatever you do for a living, that's what your business is getting qualified on initially. If you make $100,000, $60,000 a year, that's originally what your business starts off with. It's going to be like you walking in for your first day of college, and you go in and you go to the bookstore after you went to the registrar's office. You guys know what I'm talking about that went to college. How many of you guys went to college? First day of college, guys. You go in, you're registering for your classes. You just finished registering for all your classes. You get your little sheet. Now you're going to the bookstore to get your books with your little sheet, right? And what's the first table when you walk into the bookstore? Discover card, Visa. Now you sit down, and all of a sudden they hand you a $1,000, $2,000 credit card, and you have no credit. That's your entryway to either ruining your credit or building your credit, okay? And everybody qualifies for the most part, right? It's your entryway, right? Same thing in business lines of credit. They're not going to give you a ton of money. They'll give you maybe $5,000. Maybe they'll give you $10,000. They're not going to give you a lot of money, but they're going to give you something because you're a new business owner. That's why I explained this right here, okay? And so you're going to start off with very little. The goal is to build that. So we have affiliates, like we have Prime Corporate Services. When you come to Prime Corporate Services, they will go in and build it for you through us, and you'll maybe pay them a couple $1,000, and they'll get you over $1 million in business lines of credit. Maybe only $150,000 in business lines of credit, okay? But they leverage my reputation with them to help you guys out. Does that make sense? Same thing with your lenders, guys. If you go in and you guys are looking at lenders, and you go in, where do you get loans like this? You get them from you get them from your local banks, guys. So if you go in, I want to explain to you guys how simple this is, but how complicated it is, okay? So it's going to take a little legwork, and based on this gentleman's question, small, regional, and municipal banks and credit unions in the Miami, Fort Lauderdale area, okay? Now, when we go in, guys, have you guys ever heard of Miami Federal Credit Union? You guys ever heard of University Credit Union? Coral Community Federal Credit Union? Broward Health Care Federal Credit Union? Federal Credit Union? Broward Healthcare Federal Credit Union? Dade County Federal Credit Union? Bright Star Credit Union? Eastern Financial Federal Credit Union? Eastern Financial, American Airlines Federal Credit Union? Space Coast Credit Union? Tropical Financial? Memorial Employees Federal Credit Union? Miami Federal again? Northern Ballard again? City National Bank of Florida? You guys get it? There's probably 30 just right here on the first page, and there's pages of credit unions. Guys, not every single one of them does construction lending. Not every one of them is going to lend to you guys. Some of our students will go to reach out to 20 different banks, and they'll get 20 no's initially because they don't go in and do this first. When you go in and you do this, you might go to 20 banks, and you might only get 4 yeses. Those 4 yeses, we start negotiating, not the loan, we start negotiating the terms of that loan. Does that make sense? And we start hacking away those banks based on whether or not we like the terms. Like if a bank says, we'll give you the loan, but you have to have your general contract, and we'll only pay your GC, friggin' slice them off right there. Because I don't want a GC controlling your money. Does that make sense? Yes. Now, so we go back and we start negotiating terms. And then if those don't work, then you come to People's Financial. People's Financial is I don't own the bank, it's our affiliate that we put for you guys. They're more expensive, it'll cost you more money. It might cost you about an extra $10,000 per bill to be able to use People's, but you use them last. People's, they were a development company. The owners of that bank develop real estate. If you default on the loan, they will foreclose on it, they will take it from you, and they will finish your bill. And they will give you nothing. They will take you and your credit, and they'll take your bill from you, but they'll give you money. So it is a higher risk lender, and they're in a position where they can take your bill and finish it if you default, but they'll give you money. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so we have resources for you. But those are only available for 2 types of people, guys, decision makers, and people that can come in and really want to do it. Now, the biggest problem that we have is not the business opportunity. The business problem that we have is that people complicate the process, and I hate to say it, but it has to do with you guys' upbringing. And we've been blessed. I've been in entrepreneurship for 32 years. So to my benefit, I've been sculpted by some of the best business and professionals and entrepreneurs in my whole life, in my early 20s. I don't think like you guys do. I think completely different than you guys do, because in my young 20s, I bit the entrepreneurial bug, hook, line, and sinker when I was in multi-level marketing. And I didn't know what it was doing for me back then, but all I know is what it's done for my life now. And the biggest thing, guys, is that not everybody in this room will succeed, okay? But those people who pay attention and are gullible enough to go in and execute, they will, okay? Now, there's only 20 seats available for Miami, guys, from this room, because tomorrow morning, we fly out to Jacksonville, and we're gonna open up 20 seats to Jacksonville. Then we're gonna go out, we're gonna open up 20 seats to Tampa. We're gonna be oversold by 10 seats by the end of this weekend, by Friday afternoon. And so it's first come, first serve only. So if you're sitting back thinking, if I should go, there may not be seats available for you, I don't know. All I know is that if you decide to go, take a spouse or a business owner with you, or a business colleague, because they're only $200, okay, for a +1. So you pay the $598 if you get it today, they'll all sell out for $598, and then you go in and 100% of everybody there pays. We don't advertise it on the internet, we don't advertise it anywhere else but right here in these rooms. You know why? Because if I ran out, guys, I marketed this for 5 days, and we have 120 people here. If I market that event for 1 week, we'll be sold out in a week. And so understand that opportunities aren't lost, they just go on to somebody else. Does that make sense? And so you guys are right here in Miami, you don't have to pay for flights, you don't have to pay for hotels, get your tickets. If you want to bring a spouse or a loved one, pay the $200, and that basically covers the cost of their food. My cost per plate of their food costs me about $150 per plate. Plus on Sunday, we feed you guys hors d'oeuvres, not hors d'oeuvres, danishes and continental breakfast. And on Sunday, guys, we're going to start at 8:30 a.m. And we're going to go till 1:30 so people can catch flights back home, and then we'll have coffee and everything there on Sundays for you guys. And here's the thing, guys, on Sunday, when we did Nashville, we did a millionaire workshop for the very first time. I thought that the room was going to be like when I do my big events. I do my big events in Las Vegas once a year, and we put over 1,000 people in the seats. I spent about $750,000 to put those events on, and they're awesome. I bring in a ton of great speakers, and they're awesome events. But on Sundays in the morning, the seats are like 60% filled, 40% empty. On Sunday mornings, we get started at 9. So I was expecting that in Nashville. And I said, I want to make sure that people show up. We showed up in Nashville after we kicked ass on Saturday, and in Nashville, I walked in, and I got like chills. I walked in, Rick was up on stage, he was talking, and I walked in, and I got like the hair on the back of my neck stood up, and I was like, holy shit, 95% of the audience was in their seats at 8:30 in the morning, ready to freaking go. I couldn't believe it. I have never been to an event or hosted an event where 95% of people were in their seats ready to learn. Within the first 15 minutes, seats were 100% filled, 100%. Every freaking student was in their seats on Sunday. Never in my life have I ever seen anything like that. So Sunday we go in, we do millionaire workshop, we get done early enough, so you guys don't have to catch flights. That way you guys can drive from spending it Sunday afternoon with your kids, okay? Now, September is 70 days away. You guys can come in and spend 70 days waiting to get this business model started, which is fine. I'll probably do 2 calls for you guys between now and then. And there'll be 3 calls that I'll do for you guys to help prepare you guys to get ready for the event. Nobody else will do that for you guys. They'll sell you a ticket, you show up for the event, they'll watch you guys walk off, and you're all on your own, okay? That's not our goal. We're building a fucking army, okay? Period, point blank. We're building a fucking army here, guys. And what we're gonna do, guys, is we can just do way more all together. Hey, Tony, stand up, bro. You guys see this gentleman right back here? Does he look like a slick car salesman to you? Yeah. No, that right there is a 61-year-old professional, retired military, came in, started working. Tony, how long have you been working with me, bro? About 3.5 years. About 3.5 years. Before you tell the story, I'm just gonna tell you my perspective of this story. But he came in to be a part of just our regular community, guys. Came in, and it cost him about $8,000 to be a part of our regular community when he originally came in. It was less expensive, not a lot, a little bit less expensive. It's $10,000 now, but $8,000 to be a part of our community. Within the first 6 months, he came in, and I offered our Build Wealth Mastermind community at $30,000 a year. Now, our regular community back when he started was a $5,000 annual renewal. Now it's free. Once you guys come in, if you're in part of our community forever. There's no renewal fees or no nothing. He came in, Tony, stay up, he came in at a time where he paid to be a part of our community, then came $30,000 a year to come in and be a part of our mastermind. At the end of the mastermind, he goes like this. The mastermind was to come in and resume up in multifamily. And he had his wife involved, he had his daughter involved. He's from New York, but he's building here in Florida. They have a place here in Florida. He's kicking ass here in Florida. And Tony came to me at the end of the year. He goes, Jerome, I just want to thank you for an incredible year. He goes, and Tony, you can fix it how I say this. This is what I got out of it. He goes, Jerome, I decided that I don't want to build multifamily. He goes, all I want to do is build houses. You know what you gave me this year? You gave me a business model. That year, he did 30 homes, Tony? 28 homes, 28, sorry. 28 homes, guys. He goes, you gave me a business model that I was able to go in and execute with my wife and my daughter, and now they're a part of my business. I don't need anything else. So when you did that, man, sorry, because that's the type of movements we're making in people's lives. And he goes in, he goes, Jerome, he goes, I get to work with my family for the rest of my life. He goes, thank you, he gives me gifts every time. I have Tony's Bible at my house. He gave me. Go ahead, Tony.
You say to take care of the home, marry female kids, take care of the home, take care of the husband in a good way, and have a life over 9 to 5. Guess who that, right? Females? I got 2 daughters, 27-year-old, a 29-year-old. By the way, I got a 41-year-old who's not on my team. Don't know why. But those 2 girls on my team, get this, they quit their jobs doing this. They built, with my help, 3 houses a year, sell 2, keep 1. The 2 they sell, did the numbers, you guys know the numbers, and then when they keep, cash flow, roughly $1,000, $400, keep it going. So get this, 27, 29, 10 years past 5, our model is that type of model. You'll wake up 10 years from now making $15,000 just to wake up. Based on our model, working from home. We go to the job site, now we got, at the beginning, it was a lot, because I didn't know how to build houses, I'm not a builder. Put my hands on the builder, hire everybody. The beginning was hard to go on job sites. Now we go to the job site, guys, get this, once every other week. Everything else is like online. And that's kind of like, so my game plan is that. Now I got the grandson who's 19, who took a gap year, and he's not even gonna go to college to be, he's from one of the trades, so he's gonna do basically roofing and then build houses. If I had to do this over again, so I've been in real estate, Jerome, I've been in real estate a long time, 30 years, real estate. If I had to do this over again, I would not have done fix and flips, real estate sales, brokerage. I would just done new construction homes, because it's in and out, and I don't know how to do. That's me. By the way, Jerome said it earlier, not everybody can do it. Everybody has the opportunity to do it. But you do have to kind of get off your ass and do it at the end of the day. And if you don't, it's on you, but everybody's got the same opportunity, same spectrum.
But how long did you drive just to come over here today?
Huh?
How long did you drive to get here today?
About an hour and 15 minutes.
I don't figure he didn't have to come up here, guys. He came up here on his own. Rick was upstairs with me when we first came in, and he got on the phone with Tony. Guys, we have a community like this everywhere, and we don't even market our community to come to these events. We market you people to come to these small meetups. And so when they hear that we're here, they come in, and so we have a few other community members. If you're part of our community, stand up real quick. See these gentlemen right here?
Mr. Musabi,
In the back, right over there.
hey, don't be hiding out, sir, don't be hiding out.
Back here.
Come on, man. Don't be
Tell me what it's
shy.
like for being a part of our community, man.
Oh, man.
Mikey, don't be shy. Don't make me get you.
Jerome pours 150% every week in that call. It's impressive, honestly. He says you're gonna get an hour and a half, but you get way more than that. You get 30 years of experience. Like, words can't even describe it, honestly. Anything that you can think of is something he's got it covered pretty much.
How many times have I met you in person?
Twice, I met you in Fort Lauderdale. Actually, 3 times. I met you in a Thai mastermind. Maybe 4 or 5 years. That's when I first heard about you.
Thank you, bro. How about you guys? What's your experience working with us?
It's been like a year and a half. Me and my brother joined. It's been phenomenal. You do a lot. We have the courses, watch every course. I meet a lot of people. I met Tony, the nicest guy in the world. Invites us out to go meet him privately. Because of you, me and my brother have been building homes the last 2 years. It's been pretty successful. Do it out of state, trying to do it here. So I'd recommend anyone to join the community, the WhatsApp group, all that's phenomenal.
What? How much you guys make in your last build?
About 80.
About 80,000?
Yeah.
Okay, did you guys make some mistakes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, did you guys not follow the business model exactly?
Not exactly. No. We did as much as we could. We made our mistakes.
Can we put our hands together? $80,000 profit, first time we do it. You guys get more on your next build.
Yeah. We'll do it.
You change a little bit of what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely more upper middle class we're trying to hit.
See, because everybody plays it safe. You guys get it, what I was talking about today?
Yeah.
How about you? What's your radio experience working with us?
Fantastic. My name is Terry. I live up in Weston. I did my 1 month with the community today.
Good.
Yeah, so we're going through the program right now. Just based on what he said, every week it blows my mind how much Jerome pours into those calls. It's unbelievable. I mean, honestly, I don't think he charges enough for it to be a part of the community. That's my thing on it, because other groups, so I do 4 or 5 times that, and I promise you, then I put 4 hours in every week on the call and get it back with us and blows my mind.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And these guys don't even know what you guys are just talking about. So guys, they brought it up. I didn't bring it up. I wasn't even going to talk about it today, but since they brought, I didn't realize we had so many community members here. And I'm going to let you guys tell them as well. But let me tell you guys something. So our community is strong, man. We have over 2,000 members. We always have about 150 people that come into our weekly calls that are part of our community. And we built that community together to help you guys. I didn't know I was going to do this, guys. I didn't do this. I didn't start an online education platform. I had no freaking idea that I was going to do this shit. There's a guy named Ty Lopez, if you guys know who he is, that I met, and it's a funny story. I don't have time to tell you guys the whole story right now, how I met him, and Grant Cardone, and Bradley, and Andy Frisella, and Ed Milet. I met all these guys on the floor of a kitchen inside the Mandalay Bay the year of the shooting in the 10X Growth Conference when we were backstage. And I ended up becoming good friends with all these guys. And ironically enough, Ty asked me to do some courses on his real estate mentor program. And they were a success for his program. It was the launch of his real estate mentor program. And so Ty kept having me come in and do classes for him. And he told me, hey, bro, and I told him one day, I was like, bro, you're making money on that stuff. So give me some of that. He said, just start your own. And so I landed up doing a little course that Ty told me to put together. Ty's the one that told me to teach you guys how to build houses. It wasn't me. And he goes, teach them something that you do that makes money, that anybody can do if they do what you tell them to do. And we put it together. I had no idea it was gonna be such a success, and it's been pretty great, guys. But if you guys learn anything about me, everything that we do, the level of commitment that I put into my homes, the level of commitment that I put into my family, the level of commitment that I put into my relationships, the level of commitment that I put into every single one of my business, the same level of commitment that I put into you guys, truth be told. And you won't find anything otherwise. Now, do I have the permission? Do I have you guys' permission to sell? I wasn't gonna sell you guys anything. Do I have you guys' permission to tell you guys about our community?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I'll tell you guys about it. It's $10,000 to be a part of our community, and it's a one-time fee. I'll save you guys that on a window package, and you will thank me later. And just like you said, you guys, you can't, in this business, guys, one wrong move will cost you everything. One right move will make you everything. Does that make sense? And so when we came in and I it took me 6 months to write a curriculum. It took me 6 months to record it. While my kids were traveling doing gymnastics, you'll notice that in the backdrop of all my curriculum, the backdrop is different in every single module. Because as my kids were traveling all over the country, my daughter would be here in Florida, my son would be in California, my daughter would be in the Bahamas, my son would be in Colorado. We were all over. When I put them to sleep at night, I had to set up my little tripod and I would record the videos, my training modules. And it took me 6 months of writing and recording to put these modules together for you guys. And builders with 30 years of seasoned experience, when they watch this, they sit back and go, holy shit, I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. And you guys will go in and you guys will learn from start to finish how to do it. And then you guys are able, scared as shit, to bring your stuff to our calls. And I'll look at your guys' projects every week. I commit an hour and a half to you guys, but like yesterday's call went 3 hours and 15 minutes. Last week's call went 4 hours and 17 minutes. I commit one afternoon a week to our community. I try to get off in 2 hours, but if truth be told, in the last 2 months, I think I've gotten off in 2 hours at one time. And it was because I had to go in front of the room for an event or something, and I had to get done. So anyways, nonetheless, guys, you guys, I can't onboard all of you guys today. It's for action takers only. I wish I could just onboard everybody, but here's the thing, guys. For those people that want to be a part of something better, and you guys want leadership and help, you guys can have an opportunity to be a part of my community. Now, truth be told, when I come up here, I look and sound like a really nice guy in front of the room. I'm a hard ass when it comes to the calls. And I have no problem busting your guys' balls. I will tell you guys right now, if you guys don't want somebody that's gonna hold you accountable, don't be a part of my community. I don't fuck around in my calls. I run it like a wrestling coach. I wrestled all the way Division I, all the way through college. I wrestled since I was 5 years old. I don't know anything different. It's the way I ran my business, is the way I was coached my whole life. I run my calls the way I was coached. I don't hold back on profanity or anything else. When my calls or when people are talking, they're disrespecting my calls, I will let you know it in front of the entire call, and I will hold you accountable. But that contributes to the success of our students. It's not because I don't love you. It's not because I don't like you. I might bust your balls in front of the entire team, but that's the way I was just coached, guys. And if you guys don't want to be held accountable for your actions, don't be a part of my community, because I will hold you accountable for your actions. Okay? But I expect success out of my students. I do. I expect it. I don't ask you, I don't hope that you're successful. I expect success out of my students. I don't care if it takes you a year. I don't care if it takes you 4 years. I don't care what it takes you. I don't care if it takes you 4 years and you still make mistakes and make only $80,000. You know what I care about? Is that you get off your ass and you do something. Does that make sense? And I will, if I take your money, I don't need your money. But I will not work for you for free. Does that make sense? I need committed people only. If you're not willing to invest in yourself, then I am not also willing to invest in you either. Does that make sense? I will only invest in those that feel like they're worthy of being invested into by them personally investing in themselves. You know why? Because I invested $5,000 in myself in 1993 when I got started in multi-level marketing, and I was 19 years old, and I didn't have $5,000 in 1993. And I found $5,000, and that's how I started. And my mentor told me, I asked her, I said, how do I do this? And she goes, you get trained. And I drove from Albuquerque, New Mexico, when I was wrestling for the University of New Mexico, and I drove to Houston, Texas that same weekend with no money in a car that didn't even have a friggin' water pump. And I put on my heater in June, full blast, so my car wouldn't overheat, and I drove into Houston in June. Houston in June is like Florida in June. When my heater full blast, so my car wouldn't overheat, and I sat in bumper to bumper traffic with smoke coming out of all the tobacco plants right there in downtown Houston. And I sat there sweating my ass off. And I went to a training that cost me $300 in 1993. That's why I'm here today. Does that make sense? Will I charge you to go to my trainings? Fuck yeah, I will. Yes, I will. Will I charge you to be mentored? Fuck yeah, I will. You know why? That makes sense? So ladies and gentlemen, if you guys want to be a part, if you guys would like to have an opportunity to be a part of what we do, why don't you guys, how many of you guys would love to get started working with me this week? How many of you guys, honestly, like, how many are action takers and would like to get started working with me this week? Okay, raise your hand. Okay. How many of you guys would like to onboard and get started? Go ahead and stand up. Go ahead. This gentleman in the back right there with your hand up in front of you. Go ahead and stand up. Who is it over here? Go ahead and raise your hand. Go ahead and stand up. Go ahead and stand up. Okay? I'm sorry? I'm gonna take them right now in a second. Okay? But you guys that are ready to get started and you guys want to come work with us, come on up here real quick, and Rick and I are gonna work on onboarding you guys to be a part of our community right now. Go ahead and come on up here right now. Okay? Let's put our hands together for these gentlemen. There's a link that was also sent to you guys. You guys can send a strategy call with my team later today or tomorrow. Come on up here. Let's get you guys ready. And yes, I am going to take some questions and stuff, guys. Can we send over the? Anybody who have dinner with whoever on board the part of our community tonight, whoever part of our community, I'm going to take you guys to dinner tonight as well.
At least I broke even. Break even. I didn't say myself. If he doesn't sell, if he doesn't sell, like that first 2 years, so you get numbers. Everything's on right. Everything's
Congratulate Danny for being part of our Michael City program,
Sorry, I interrupt, but I have a question related to Jimmy. Hijo, very stupid question. I always been part of me. You to you. But my question, one thing that I want to see is they always what they're offering us, they train us, right? And they offer us to be part of it. So once you work with the training, what do you get out of it? You are going
Don't have like a direction.
It's clear to me what you get out of it.
Like the workshops, I'm not here for underwriting.
We wanted that, and of course you pay to join the yeah, yeah, it's like,
Yeah, but I mean, like, I know I have, me, that doesn't necessarily like, I just thought about it, I watched videos, I thought about it.
so the reason that you got the execution part, now your project executed, is not because you joined the first, because he encouraged you to do it. Well, he did encourage you to do it after doing
Like it's still nerve-wracking. The first time
They're just totally a return. Oh yes, it's just first of all, it's 2 days training. So it's you'll cover it. But it wouldn't be for you. You're not planning to do You're right. No, I just want to pick up your
I don't know if I can buy a 600. And then over there, that's what I'm going
They're offering really cheap.
They don't call you.
Yeah, so they're trying to and they're so they waited $30,000 and it's like instead of having to move out of
I can know. I see a market.
I've been in class and reading for so long.
Definitely, he's not happy there. He's trying to cross. It's not great. No, I'm
If you see I'm pretty sure like see some houses just for that, turn the house apart and $7,000, you know what I mean? Like, which is still great. You know what
And then in the serious deep it's like he built almost 5.5 million. But it's holding cost pretty much for 50. So like when the house sat for like 6 months, they could afford it instead of renting out to leave. But like that's the burden for yeah, so I personally guarantee it.
But they always like this.
Eventually you get to the point where like the business can stand up and then you can just lead off the business. So like right now, the one thing that I always find hard, even like is when you do like the actual sometimes it's exhausting, like, it's like, the first draw is really when I get the room, I have structure, like, this is gonna cost this and that, but I don't tell the things like, oh, like, once you learn how to land, I need to draw $80,000 for this time. Right. They wouldn't give me the money. You see the land? So, like, you part of like for me, it's a real and like, I've never bought a loan. It's the first time you're like, okay, pay me back the money for this.
That'll be awesome. I expect maybe that's the thing, maybe you try hold it or whatever you're using.
How you get that first
I'm not sure it's asking the back, because I know, hey, I'm buying the land with you.
and I still want to be like, okay, like, training costs, $20,000. That's it, you're like, training costs, $25,000. I don't do that.
Taking off.
I still need a life.
You know that there's a new so the size of the person it's basically which allows you and like also so it's faster. It allows you to do shit you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Like for example, there's this land you only build a multifamily if you make 20 parking. This allows you to make 10. Still make like there's a bunch of just because
Are you ready to go in September? Because I mean, it seems like if we go in together, we get out.
you probably have no bigger distance.
Yeah, I wanna take your, your email. No, the one, yeah. Oh, three. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just my
And then he has the
that's where I am. papelera. Bueno,
trabaja mucho ya.
Perú es un país y Bahrein es un Perú y
¿Cómo le quedó?
no, well, if you own the mine, it's
Yeah, I saw that guy's a loader.
You think so? I'm a big underwriter.
That right away.
That's the first one enough to say I'll make it more expensive than the square footage. I just. I'll tell you how to get contacts. You know, you go to a job site. Okay, what do you
But that might be changing now. Might be changing for you. You're talking about house price, you don't want Yeah, I want to join the big game. And yeah, definitely all of a sudden I was he thought I was going to sign up for the right now. Yeah. But yeah, you will follow me a little bit.
I'm always
No, absolutely. No, I think that it's very nice to build a community of people at the same time interest. So I'm really happy to see you again. Now, in September, we might see you before.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter.
So even like right now, like, Oh. Good trade. No, you're never. So wait. He's different.
I would honestly, I would, my instinct, that would be.
He sold it with ordinary income. He built it, sold it. So he's like, yes, it's
I'm looking at it, would be the game changer for the others.
You have to start. Start again. Once you're hired, watch the pictures,
Really just cut out. Basically teaching them that this is all now. It's crazy. Just work it out. Get the contact.
Yes.
For an I'll be here on that weekend. I'm Pacific Music So if he doesn't have a gate that I'll definitely be here.
Well, I'll tell you, your situation is different. I'm coming out here from that stuff. So like, talk to me stuff like, I'll sacrifice something like that, right? So my whole thing is like, for me to come in here, you guys for free, I gotta do it on the weekend, it doesn't make sense. So it's like, that's why I'm doing the weekend. But I give them a lot of value.
No, and I do. Thank you.
So we get one, we're here. I'm gonna be have to travel. I'm gonna be for meeting.
Yes.
That's 28 years worth of knowledge. Yeah, what it is, man, when you start business, you have this is our team. This is our team. Yeah. They go out there, school, these are our actual.